the first thing that you should get in all of your getting is get an understanding. So you being here, getting an understanding already proves to me that you're smarter than what I was in the beginning. So if I was able to figure it out, what would make it so you don't figure it out? How can you insert your value into Amazon's ecosystem so that way you can begin making some money? Does that make sense? Your first or next income stream, if you're looking to have another income stream on top of whatever you have going on, if you don't got an easy stream, you need an easy stream. An easy stream, again, is any way that you can make money without having to know everything. Hey there, before we get into today's life-changing video, here's just a quick heads up before we dive in. Everything shared in this video is for educational and informative purposes only. I'm not a licensed financial advisor, CPA, attorney, or investment professional. The ideas, opinions, and examples shared are based on personal experience, public data, and general knowledge intended to help you learn and make more informed decisions. Nothing in this video should be taken as personal, financial, legal, or investment advice. Always do your own due diligence, aka research, and when in doubt, speak with a certified professional who understands your unique situation. Also, please know that results vary. Just because something worked for me or someone else doesn't guarantee the same outcome for you. Success takes effort, consistency, and your own decision making. From time to time, we may share tools, services, or offers, and some may include affiliate links or partnerships where we earn a commission at no extra cost to you. We only share resources we believe provide value. The goal is to empower you with knowledge, not pressure you into anything. You're in control. Thanks for watching and investing time in your own financial education. Let's grow smarter together. I love you, Cousin JT. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Income Autopilot Podcast. What I want to do in today's episode is really just talk about what do you do when sales are slow, when business is slow, when things just aren't going your way. This is an inevitability in business at some point or another. To some people it happens early on, to some people it happens sporadically throughout the life of the business. But what do I do? What I recommend somebody else to do is what we're going to cover in today's episode. Now, if this is the first time you ever heard of me, I'm not here to make you believe that I am infallible. I am the voice of all business everywhere, but I go by the name of JT Automations. Also, some people call me JT Hustles. I've been a serial entrepreneur and a full-time entrepreneur since 2014. I have went broke and homeless and slept on the side of Interstate 95 back in 2017, so 3 years after starting the business. So my very first business in 2014, I scaled from $500 a week to $2,000 to $3,000 net profit a week. But by 2017, I was broke and homeless on the side of the road. The reason why I'm being transparent with you is because I want you to understand what you don't know can and will negatively impact you in business. But instead of me just being defeated and staying there back in 2017, by 2019, I had made my first $1 million and I've been successful in business consistently ever since then. So what I'm telling you is going to be from the perspective of somebody that actually has been in business, is in business. I have taken L's, I have taken wins, and through it all, we continue to persevere, learn more, and do more. So what I want you to understand is if you're somebody out there that wants to get into business, you need a skill set. Now, if you say, okay, I don't have a skill set, you should learn one, obviously. But if you're trying to move fast, I recommend, and this is a term that I coined, your first or next income stream should be an easy stream. Your first or next income stream, if you're a new business owner, you don't know what you want to do, you just want to make money outside of that 9-to-5 job, should be an easy stream. First, let's talk about jobs. I'm not anti-job, I'm pro-happiness. What does that mean? If you love what you do, if you know that you would continue to do what you're doing until the day that you die, regardless of how much money you make, I'm not telling you that you should quit that job. I just believe that one income stream is too close to zero income streams, and I don't want you to ever be in a predicament, a situation, or whatever you want to call it, where you get laid off from your job and now you worried about, are you going to lose your house? Now you worried about, are you going to lose your car? Now you worried about how you're going to be able to take care of your kids. That is a situation that I want you to stay as far away from as humanly possible. That's why I'm really big on multiple streams of income, at least two, but some people can manage more. Not everybody, but some people. So I'm here to recommend that you have two income streams. And if you have a 9-to-5 job, that's one. So having a business or doing something that you got more control of, I would recommend that to be your second. I have 5 years of formal work experience. 4 of those was in the United States Marine Corps. 1 of those was in in corporate America working for Berkshire Hathaway, which is Warren Buffett and the late Charlie Munger's company. Now, that is who I am. I've won awards, 13 book awards, $1 million awards from ClickFunnels, 6-figure in a day awards. We don't make 6 figures every day, but we've had 6-figure days in our business and gotten awarded for it. So I got all of those other accolades, but at the end of the day, that doesn't feed your family, that doesn't pay your bills. But I did want to kind of qualify myself when we live in a world today full of people that try to tell you what to do with your money and you want to know what they did with their money. So just, more about that in future episodes. If there is a huge interest in that, I can do a whole my story video, but let's get back to the subject matter at hand. What do I recommend you to do if sales are slow or if business is slow? First, if you're a new entrepreneur, of course, we're looking for an easy stream. An easy stream is any business that has any built-in resources that allows you to be profitable without learning every single thing there is to know about business. So, for example, the best easy streams, in my opinion, are easy stream businesses that have built-in monetization. Think about eBay, Amazon, Mercari. Think about being an independent courier. Think about social media. Now, being an independent courier and social media are easy streams, but they're not as easy as e-commerce. So we're going to even dial it back down a little bit and focus on them mostly. People already like, know, and trust Amazon, but can you believe it? Some people still don't know that when they go on Amazon and place an order, it could be coming from an individual like you and me that's watching and or listening to this podcast episode. So you and I can have a product, whatever it is. It can be listed on Amazon, and when somebody buys it, we can package that package up and send that item over to the man, woman, or business that ordered. Now, there's also companies that will do this for you if you just don't want to turn your garage or spare bedroom into a mini inventory or warehouse or whatever, right? So you don't necessarily gotta house the product yourself. It will save you a little bit of money because it's really not that expensive at all to work with these companies. But if you prefer convenience and you okay with spending a little bit of money for them to manage the inventory for you, and when something sells, they deal with all of the nuances of picking, packaging, shipping it out, dealing with returns if there's ever a need for somebody to return something, that's an option for you as well, right? So first things first, these are the writer downers. Ensure that you have a easy stream. Are you somebody that has to figure out everything in your business yourself? That is the opposite of having an easy stream. How many people out there, you want to start a business and then you have this unique idea, right? You have this unique idea and you say, okay, man, this is going to be the name of it. This is what we're going to sell. I got to just figure out how do we build the business. So where I'm going to get the inventory from, or what's going to be the digital product or digital service if we're not going to do physical products. So, okay, this is what we're going to sell. Who we going to sell it to? Everybody. And if you ever believe you're going to sell something to everybody, you are sadly mistaken. Believe it or not, there are certain people that don't shop at Walmart. Believe it or not, there are certain people that don't shop at Foot Locker. There are certain people that don't eat at McDonald's. There are certain people that don't visit Disneyland. So all of these, I'm intentionally trying to name big retailers. Hopefully you know of at least one of those businesses that I named. But there are, however big or small the demographic may be, but there are groups of people that will not patronize these sorts of establishments for one reason or another. That being said, if these multi-billion-dollar companies aren't going to get 100% or everybody to do business with them, it is not very smart to try to exercise your limited resources to build a business for everybody, knowing that we never going to please everybody. If you're a man or a woman, for that matter, out there that has a family, especially you got a spouse and multiple kids, not just one child, you'll know sometimes when it comes to what y'all gonna eat, it's not as easy as, oh yeah, everybody agrees we should have spaghetti tonight. Everybody agrees we should have chicken tonight, or whatever it is. So I say that to say that it's hard enough you trying to please everybody in your family to agree on what we should eat tonight. So just understand that the same thing is going to be true in business. So right now, and I reserve the right to change my mind because I'm an active entrepreneur, meaning that the industry can change, new stuff can happen in the economy, and that can create opportunities and maybe impact impact some pre-existing opportunities. And the reason why I gotta say that is because I have no control over when you'll hear this particular episode, and I don't want you to think that, oh man, I listened to it and he lied to me. So no, literally as of the upload date, whenever the upload date is somewhere visible on this episode, depending on what platform you're listening to it on. But as of the upload date of this episode, I want you to understand Amazon, in my opinion, is one of the best easy stream businesses for you to get into. People already like, know, and trust Amazon. All you gotta do is learn how can you insert your value into Amazon's ecosystem so that way you can begin making some money. Does that make sense? Now, before you jump off of this episode and are intimidated by your inability to do this, maybe you don't think you have the time to do it. Maybe you think you don't have the money to do it. Maybe you may think that you're not smart enough to do it. I want you to understand that if you're smart enough to be listening this long to today's episode, that already shows me that you have what it takes to be successful, making 6 or even, yes, 7 figures working for yourself. How can you say that, JT? We've never met, we may never meet, and that's fine. But I can tell you as somebody that started off in business, 2014, however many years ago that's been, depending on when you're watching and listening to this, I did not start off listening to educational podcasts. I didn't start off reading books, investing in financial literacy programs. You know what I did? I had an idea and I just started doing stuff. And I lost a lot of money. So I'm not recommending this at all. I'm just sharing with you all my truth. I had an idea to do stuff and I just started doing stuff. And I lost, to date, 200 grand liquid cash. This is not other people's money. This is not, this thing was worth $200,000 and I lost it, but I didn't have any of my actual money in it. No, I'm talking about it was $200,000 of my hard-earned dollars that was invested, not borrowed from a bank and invested. I worked, saved my money, and invested my actual money and lost. I was wrong about it. I made a mistake about it, whatever the case might have been for that unique situation. So I don't want you to go through and lose 200 grand in order to figure out how to do business the right way. So the first thing that you should get in all of your getting is get an understanding. So you being here, getting an understanding already proves to me that you're smarter than what I was in the beginning. So if I was able to figure it out, what would make it so you don't figure it out? And I'll tell you the answer for anybody that's curious to know. Your belief system. See, I'm a country boy from South Carolina. I grew up getting whippings and beatings, right? Not spankings, not timeouts, not pops. I was raised off of whippings and beatings. And if somebody else is here that's from the South, any part of Mississippi, Alabama, the Carolinas on down, you know what I mean. It's a difference between a spanking and a beating, a whooping and a popping, right? So that's what I was raised off of. So country boy here, I raised off of coon meat, beatings in the Bible, was smart enough to go through trial and error and eventually figured out I need to start investing in myself to learn the right way. And then that I started growing exponentially after that epiphany. If I could figure it out, but I wasted so many years of my life. I say I would have wasted at least 3 to 5 years since it's been so long ago now. I've wasted at least 3 years of my life trying to do everything on my own just to come to the conclusion that it would have been cheaper and faster for me to have paid somebody in the beginning to figure it out. How could it be cheaper to give somebody some money than it would be for you to figure it out on your own? The amount of time and money you spent trying, being wrong, it's one thing if you're gonna quit as soon as you're wrong the first time. But if you're somebody stubborn or determined, because I like determined better, but if you're somebody that's determined or stubborn, depending on how you want to look at it, to be successful, then you're not gonna quit the first time you tried and it didn't work. First time I asked a girl for a phone number, she ain't give it to me. First time I tried to, do a flip on the trampoline as a kid, I wasn't successful. First time I tried to ride a bike. So a lot of things. First time I went for my driver's license, I failed. It took me 2 attempts at taking the driving test before I was even able to get my driver's license. I ain't ashamed to say it. So since I know that there was a lot of things in my life that took multiple attempts before I was successful at it, I understand that, they ain't a loss, it's a lesson. I'm a persevere. So let me get off of that soapbox. If you're here, don't be intimidated by any of the things that we're going to discuss tonight. Matter of fact, I would dare say if you work a 9-to-5 job, you already have the skill set to be a millionaire. We're going to cover that in the second half of today's episode. But easy stream business is the first thing. Remember, I'm going to be intentionally repetitive about this because some of you all are driving. Some of you all are cutting hair at the barbershop. Some of you all are just busy doing something and just letting this play, and respect to you, gratitude to you for doing that. But I want you to understand this. Your first or next income stream, if you're looking to have another income stream on top of whatever you have going on, if you don't got an easy stream, you need an easy stream. An easy stream, again, is any way that you can make money without having to know everything. I'll give you guys an example. So one of the props that I have on my desk for the people that are just listening to this podcast is called my card game. So I own a tabletop gaming company. Believe it or not, old country boy from South Carolina, Mullins to be exact, you never heard of that city, but from Mullins, South Carolina, has made his own board game. My board game that you guys see over my right, your left shoulder is MAF, M-A-M-F. It stands for Make a Million First, and it teaches you how to make $1 million in the real world, but you're gonna do it while enjoying playing a board game. That being said, that's what MAF is, M-A-M-F. That's not for everybody. Not everybody is looking for a financial literacy board game, and I am willing to put my financial literacy board game up against anyone in creation today. My game is not just more fun, it's more practical in the sense of you can do what you learn in the game in the real world to make money. And whoever want to smoke, holla at me. You guys see the number, 833-221-9994. Let's set it up. Your game versus mine. Tabletop, high quality board game in practicality, in funness. Let's do it, right? So I digress though. Let me get back to the point. You guys know I love you guys. So we gonna talk. So that's my board game, but I'm gonna use the card game this time. And we got some other games that we cooking up behind the scenes as well. So our card game is called Sheep. Sheep, the Christian card game. Now this game teaches you pretty much Bible stories. So just flipping through it real quick, it'll teach you about the Tower of Babel. It'll teach you the story of Noah. It'll teach you about Moses, about Jonah, about David and Goliath, Daniel. So a lot of different stories, Adam and Eve, a lot of basic Bible stories. I told you guys I was raised in the Bible Belt, little country boy, single mom. Dad died when I was 11. Mom had 5 kids, never made more than $11 an hour. So you guys know I was gonna have something for the Christian. I had to. Why do I tell you all of this? With this game, I had to design it. I had to get prototypes made. I had to market it. I had to fulfill on the orders once people ordered it. I had to deal with customer service if people had any delays in shipping, if the package got damaged, whether it was my fault or something with the shipper. I had to figure out all of that myself. Now, this is a popular game. Funny thing is, I dare say at least one person that's listening to this has never even heard of this game, but Sheep, the Christian card game, and you can order yours off of SeekYeGaming.com. SeekYeGaming.com. You can go to SeekYeGaming.com and order whatever board games we have in stock available right now. And that being said, we might have moved, it's been less than 1,500, so I don't want to lie to you, but we've moved quite a bit of, right? Let's just leave it at that. So we were able to move, meaning sell, a whole lot of these card games through our marketing. So we did pretty good. I would dare say I'm an independent board game manufacturer and seller. So we did everything. This is my concept. I partner with the manufacturer in another country. I deal with the prototypes. I was fully involved in this business from start to finish. It cost thousands of dollars up front just to get prototypes made. We might have dealt with 8 different manufacturers in different countries and domestically. I'm based out of the United States, but just to find one that we're like, okay, we're happy with their quality. What if you have your own unique game, your own unique restaurant idea, your own unique clothing idea, your own unique, you want to do glasses, right? Believe it or not, if you came out with your own frames designed for people to go order the frames, take them to their optometrist, get their eye exam, and then fit their lens into your stylish, minimalistic, techie, whatever you're going for frames. People are making millions of dollars a month just selling frames, not knowing anything about eye and optometry. But those businesses require you to know a lot. You got to know about market research. So before you even start spending money getting stuff made, who in the world is going to gonna buy it. So if I do make a card game, it's cool, but who gonna buy the doggone card game if I make it? Now, prices may differ depending on who you use and when you're listening to this. But to make a prototype, one single pack of cards, just so you can test it out and see if you like the quality, see if the images are good, there's no typos, everything looks the way you want it to look. We were spending between $50 and $80 a pack. Now think about how much a pack of cards costs in the store. I dare say nowhere near $50 to $80 a pack. Now, again, we're talking about prototypes. Now, once we finalized everything and we started ordering in bulk, they gave us a better price. But in the beginning, I'm ordering one single pack. I just want to see what your quality gonna look like, because I don't want to order 5,000 or more packs and you gonna misspell sheep. You gonna misspell words, the image quality is gonna be trash, you're gonna get complaints about this, complaints about that. If that's gonna be the case, I don't wanna fool with you. But of course, if you are a big manufacturing company, domestically or internationally, and you have these big industrial machines, is it cost effective for you to make one custom pack of playing cards? No, you make your money off of the volume. So you will make a prototype, but it's gonna cost a premium. So maybe in bulk, if they get your MOQ, which stands for minimum order quantity, maybe you can get the price of those cards down to maybe $1, sometimes less than $1 a pack. Depending on the quality, some people paying $3 to $5 wholesale price if you're not able to get a decent amount of quantity and you want a high quality pack. But that still beats $50 to $80. The reason why I'm saying this is because, one, this is an analogy that represents you starting a business that's not an easy stream business. Yes, it can be successful. It takes time, it takes money, it takes knowledge, it takes consistency. If you have all of those things, by all means. But if you need to make money in a relatively short amount of time, 30 to 90 days max is the most you're okay with waiting before you start seeing positive deposits in your bank account. And of course, the sooner the better. Businesses that decide to partner with us, or individuals that want to start a business and want to partner with us, we guarantee sales within your first week. But let's say that you're going to do it on your own, because you don't got to work through us. We just provide a service to get you there fast. But 30 to 90 days. Now, also, I'm assuming that you can figure it out on your own. Otherwise, you might not never make any money. But I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. If you're watching stuff like this, you're a fairly smart person. You figure it out in 30 to 90 days on your own. If you want to work with us because you're even smarter and say, yeah, I'm smart enough to figure it out on my own, but why wait 30 to 90 days when I could come spend a day with you all? Literally, that's what it is. Like a day with us, and then you guarantee us sales within a week of our business being open for business to the customers, or our money back. And again, you guys can reach out to me on that. We got an upcoming event. I'm not going to name the date in this episode because we constantly are doing these events and other events. And if you're interested in it, just hit me up, 833-221-9994, and I'll let you know when's the next available date and where it's going to be. This is usually an in-person event, or if we decide to do a virtual one, I'll tell you that then. So you're trying to get money fast, easy stream business as your next or first income stream. Let's fast forward past that. Now your easy stream is cranking out money. How much money it cranks out depends on you. If you want to do a little business, you'll make a little money. If you want to do a lot of business, you'll make a lot of money. If you want to do not a little but not a lot, you'll make a moderate amount of money. Simple as that. Just like working out. The person that goes to the gym once a week is not going to have the same body, generally speaking, as the person that goes to the gym 3 times a week. Even if they do the exact same workouts. This person is going to do this full body workout once a week. This other person is going to do this same full body workout 3 times a week. They can start off both being overweight, underweight, or whatever, same body profile, but you'll see that in time, the one that's there more consistently will start seeing results faster, maybe even to a greater degree than the one that's not as consistent. Same thing is true in your business as well. But you got a little money coming in. For easy math, let's say it's an extra $2,000 a month. Of course, we got people that work with us that make $6,000, $10,000, way bigger numbers, 5 figures a month. But I'm a country boy, so I need small numbers because I can do the mental math pretty fast with small numbers. Otherwise, I have to whip out my handy dandy calculator. So $2,000 a month. Let's assume you also don't quit your full-time job, because that is not a prerequisite to be successful with an easy stream. Another one of the perks of an easy stream, it got built-in customers. It also has an established infrastructure, so you don't have to take 40 hours off of your 9-to-5 job and dump it into building your own infrastructure. So you don't got to to build your own website yet. You don't got to build your own sales funnel yet. You don't got to build your own social media brand yet, right? Reason why I say yet is because I do want you to eventually have your own brand. That's my bias. But are there people that make 6 and 7 figures a year straight from easy streams? Of course there are, but I got to be real with it. This is my show. I'm going to put my biases in it, but at least love and respect me enough for admitting that they're my biases. You're making $2,000 a month on top of whatever you make on your job. So for easy math, let's say you make at least $5,000 a month. That'll be $60,000 a year. So on top of that, extra $2,000 a month pushes you from $5,000 to $7,000 a month. And now that's an extra $24,000 check that you have. And I'm talking about net profit after all expenses. I'm not talking about gross income. Yes, you can gross more, but I'm talking about net profit at a bare minimum. Let's say you net $5,000 on your job, you net $2,000 in this side business. Got me? You went from $60,000 to $84,000 in your first year. And that's low-key bad. But again, because like I said, we got people making way more money than that, even in their first year. But just for easy math, you're making $84,000 a year. How would your life be different if you already are surviving off of $60,000 a year or whatever your paycheck is? But if you're already surviving, for the sake of illustration, off of $60,000 a year, and you just keep living off of that $60,000 a year from the job, and now you got $24,000 you can stack. Now, every year in business, you're gonna get a little bit better, especially if you stay tapped in with me, listening to my podcast episode, watching my other YouTube channel, and definitely if you ever come and decide to work with our company. So every year you're gonna get incrementally better. So in roughly 3 to 4 years, you're not still making $2,000 a month. You're making way more than that. So in, just for easy math, let's say in approximately 4 years with very conservative improvement, you stacked up $100,000. You living off of 60, you got 100 put up. Well, with $100,000, can you now go back and launch your restaurant? Can you launch your clothing brand? Can you launch your stock investing if that's what you wanted to do? Could you start getting into real estate wholesaling and house flipping and whatever else you wanted to do? Tax sale auctions is my thing. That's my sauce in real estate, if anybody cared to know. But I digress. Whatever your thing is, can you now take that money? Some of you all might say, I could take the $24,000 from the first year and start my hair company, my skincare line, my own line, whatever. So that's the beauty of it. You don't have to marry a easy stream. A easy stream is not until death do you part. So let's say you start off with an online e-commerce store like Amazon, because everybody knows what that is, and that's our preferred way to start. Let's say in a year, $24,000 was enough. And these, again, are super conservative numbers. This is like, to be honest, this is the worst numbers. Okay, I'll leave it at that though. But let's stick with 24 just because I don't want to go down too many different tangents. $24,000 a year. You say, okay, with $24,000 a year, I might can buy a little used tow truck, have a tow company on the side, that my cousin, my brother drive it. We'll get a partnership. We might sign up with AAA. We might sign up with this insurance company, Copart, blah, 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 right? And now, see, you know what I mean? Now, don't hold me to this, because like I said, if you watching this 5-10 years later or whenever, they could change their policies. But you can invest in a tow truck. You got a tow company. Maybe you want to put that as a down payment towards a larger investment, whether it's real estate or any other business you want to buy or start up. To each their own. If that business, not even if, I apologize, pop myself on the hand, I shouldn't have said it. We don't say if no more, we say when, because we believe in God, and God is not a God of lack, right? So when that other business takes off, because we're not going to quit until it does. And even when it does, we ain't going to quit, because why quit then? So when it does take off, then if you don't want to maintain your easy stream, you can cut it off. Hey, I really just wanted to do this over here. This was the bridge that brought me over. And there's different easy streams. I'm not trying to confuse you, but the primary easy stream that brought me over to entrepreneurship isn't one that I maintain anymore. E-commerce is better, but it got me here. And maybe for you, you'll say Amazon or e-commerce, it will get me here, but I really want to do this or that. So you give it up. And if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. If you say, I want to automate it, I'll use software or hire people, they'll run it, and either you'll scale up the business even greater so you can maintain your profit margins and have them continue to grow. Or if you say, I'm cool with making the money I make minus the software, minus the cost of payroll to get like a VA out the Philippines, $300-400 a month to run it. So I'll lose, let's say $5,000 a year. That dropped me from 24,000 to around around 19,000, right? And then let's say I'm gonna spend another, as of this recording, another $300 a month on software. I lose another 3,600. Let's round up to 4,000. So take that from the 19. I'm cool with making an extra 15,000 a year on autopilot and whatever that breaks down to on a monthly basis. So a little over a G a month. All right, a little over a G a month. If that's your thing, cool. Now let's transition and talk to the big dogs. So first, the next business, Easy Stream, if you don't already have it. Alternatively, if you have money, time, expertise, knowledge, and you just don't want to do an Easy Stream, you could jump over that as well. I had to spend the better part of this episode on Easy Streams. And again, if you guys want to connect and work with us, 833-221-9994. Just text me the word Easy Stream, and I'll know what you mean. Now, you gotta have skills. A skill set that I am, again, biased towards, and I want 100% of you all to learn. You can learn on your own. We don't have a program yet, but we're building it. And whenever it's done, I'll announce it. So you can't really partner with us yet if you're watching this the day it came out. If you're watching this and it's been out a little while, holla at me. We got you. A little while being, give us like 6 months. It ain't gonna take that long, but I'm just overshooting it. I want you to learn how to advertise. I want you to learn how to market. Just learn general marketing and advertising. Specifically, learn social media marketing on the organic side, how to create content that will garner an audience of people that will watch you, follow you, and take action based off of your recommendation. Once you learn this skill, it's like a superpower. Only use it for good. You'll get yourself in a whole lot of trouble and ruin your life if you try to use it for bad anyway. So learn how does social media work and how can you leverage social media. On top of that, though, you also need to learn paid advertising. What is paid advertising? How does paid advertising work in a way that's profitable? So learn how can you be profitable, and I'm talking literally from a dollar in to dollar out perspective on organic social media consistently, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year. And I also want you to learn how to consistently be profitable when you spend money on paid ads. Y'all got it? I digress. Learn this, right? It's a powerful skill. And if you guys heard that beeping, I apologize. Let me throw my cellular device on Do Not Disturb. So you guys know I got an Airbnb. By the grace of God, it's doing extremely well. But I got cameras on all of my property. On the exterior only, no weird interior camera foolishness. Just on the exterior, which is legal and okay to do for anybody that doesn't know. You could put cameras outside only, all of your properties. At least where I am. Now, if you're in a different state, Google it, see what the law say in your area. And if the law ever changes, we'll change. But learn paid advertising. Learn organic social media. Those are two skills that I think can carry you through life. And I'm just saying in general, because maybe the business you're thinking about doing or that you're currently doing isn't the business that you'll be thinking about doing or currently doing 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now. So having that skill is a very powerful skill that you can leverage over and over and over again in perpetuity, which is just a big fancy way of saying forever. Got it? So what I want to do next is, as promised, I want to tell you guys how your job, talking about your 9-to-5 job, has already prepared you to become a high income earner. So a lot of you all out there are interested in making more money, or else you wouldn't be tuned into the Income Autopilot podcast, the show that teaches you to stop working for money and enjoy life while your money works for you. And let me break that down. First and foremost, though, I gotta be honest with you. We family. I'm cousin JT at this point. And if I can't be real with you, then there's no sense in us communicating. I can't serve you. I can't give you real value. Just keeping it a bean, as they say. I gotta keep it funky with you. If you're working a 9-to-5 job and you've consistently been working a 9-to-5 job and you're not a millionaire yet, you don't have to make $1 million a year, but if you've been working a 9-to-5 job for at least 2 years or longer and you're not a millionaire yet, I know 100% what the problem is. You selfish. Yeah, I said it. A lot of other people is worried if they tell you the truth, you'll unfollow them, you'll cuss them out, you'll write a negative, hateful comment underneath a post. I don't care about none of that. I don't care about you disagreeing with me. I don't care about you have a difference of opinion. You are 100% wrong, and I don't care. You have the right to be wrong. So I'm going to defend my case. And again, this is not for you to change your mind. If you want to believe a limiting belief that doesn't serve you in any way, why not? It doesn't matter to me. But I'm gonna just explain to you all the truth as to why, if you have been working a job, 9 to 5, traditional job, for at least 2 years, you're not a millionaire yet, it's 100% because you're a selfish person. First thing that we have to acknowledge, and if I'm wrong, but let's just be honest. Think about to yourself how much money you would want to have in this moment. Say that number out loud. Say that number, and don't say it like $1 million. $100,000. Don't whisper it. Say it the same way you would talk to somebody in your normal speaking tone. The reason why is because I want you to first understand, as somebody that's unapologetically a believer, the power of life as well as the power of death is in your tongue. So speak life on your finances. So say it. I want to have $100,000 now. I want to have $1 million now. And yes, somebody around you gonna say, what? What amount of money you said? Oh, you crazy. That's too little. That's too much. How you gonna get that much money? They gonna have something to say. But now let's be logical, right? We're not judging anybody's number, because there's no such thing as a number that's too big. There's no such thing as a number that's too small. As long as you're able to take care of your financial responsibilities, whatever they may be, it's different person to person, and fulfill your God-given purpose. So if you can pay your bills and whatever other responsibilities you have, if that can help you do, if needed, because maybe you don't even need any money to do that, but if you need money to do whatever your God-given purpose is, you have the ability to do that, that's cool. I don't say anybody's number is a bad number or a wrong number until I see your work ethic. Because your number could have been, I wish I had $1 right now. If you ain't willing to do no work, I would say, man, you crazy. You ain't willing to even do nothing for $1. Somebody else could have said, I wish I had 10 billion. And are there billionaires that exist? Yes. Do we know all of the millionaires and all of the billionaires that exist? The answer is no. If you don't believe me, Google. No, let's do it this way. If you don't believe that statement, write down how many millionaires will take forever, but write down how many billionaires with a B you can name off the top of your head. Just without doing any research. If you can't think of their name, they can't go on the list. Write them down. If there's anybody on the list, after you write down all of the names and y'all can't think of any more names, you could do this individually or with the group of people that surround you right now. Once you write down those names, if there's anybody up there that you're not sure if they're a billionaire or not, Google it. Now, Google's not accurate, but if Google says it for the purposes of this exercise, we'll go with it. Google it, see if Google will give you some idea as to if you're at least close. And for the sake of this exercise, if Google says it, we'll believe it this time, because there's a bigger point I'm trying to make here. If Google doesn't validate it, then let's just mark them off for the purpose of this exercise. Then in that same Google or ChatGPT or AI or whatever tool is reputable to you, DuckDuckGo, that you use to look up stuff, search engines, AI, or whatever you use, then look up how many billionaires are in the world. Then look up how many billionaires are in your country. And I bet the number of billionaires that are in your country and the number of billionaires that are in the world far exceeds the number of names you have on that list. Okay, that being established, because like I said, we got to get through this. All of the money you want, whether you're the person that said 10 billion or more, or you're the person that said $1 or less, or anything in between, all of the money you want has already been printed and distributed out. It is in the collective, depending on how big your number is, it's in the collective bank accounts of businesses and individuals that either don't know you exist at all, or they know you exist, they just don't know what value you possess that's greater to them than the amount of money they would have to give you for that. For example, even I, just bringing it back to me, even I know that there's certain people that will buy my card game, my board game, come stay at my rental properties, come to my training seminars, invest in other things that we're building behind the scenes as well, right? You guys know I recently bought a software company out of India back in the end of 2024, and we're going to be, hopefully within less than a month, we're going to be able to roll that out and share that with the world if there's no further complications, right? And this ain't wood, this is a glass table, but you guys got the gesture. But the money is there. I don't gotta wait for them to print it and distribute it. You don't gotta wait on nobody to print and distribute the money you want. The money you want is already available. All you have to do is get into the awareness of the right people and show them how your value exceeds the amount of money that you're asking for. So I have 3 phones, but I only have one near me right now. This one is an iPhone. I got 2 iPhones and I got an Android. I valued the phones, every one of them, more than I valued the amount of money they cost. Upwards of over $1,000 a piece. Granted, I got them new. Not really saying you got to get yours new. And I paid them off outright. I don't do the payment plan joint. The microphone that I'm speaking to you on is $300. Well, maybe it's an old microphone depending on when you're listening to this, so maybe it's cheap. But when I bought it, it was a new microphone and it was $300. So I valued $300 less. Listen closely. I valued $300 less than I valued the microphone. Or else I would have kept my $300 and let the store keep the microphone. Let's go even deeper. I valued the ability to have as great of audio quality as I could possibly deliver. I valued the audio quality of this podcast more than I value keeping $300 in my bank account. Now, you might have listened to other podcasts or YouTube videos or just heard people speak online, and you might could hear that not everybody shares this same value. Some people might value the money in their pocket more than they value the audio quality of their content. I'm just not one of those people. Guess what? I don't know. I know the brand, of course, but I don't know the owner of the company that makes this microphone. It's a Shure mic. Matter of fact, I'm going to order another microphone. It's a Sennheiser, and I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. And that is going to be, I think, close to $1,000. Again, depending on when you're watching this or listening to it, it'll be the old microphone and it'll be way less. But the new microphone that I'm looking for is $1,000. I value $1,000 less than I value that microphone because the presentations I want to do require a different kind of mic, one that has more flexibility than these sorts of mics, and I want to still have the greatest audio I can have. So it doesn't matter if you own Shure, if you own Sennheiser, or if you own whatever brand you decide to create, there is always a market of people that, as long as you truly have value and you market for solely your ideal customer, they will value the thing. If you do it right, they'll value the thing more than they value their money. So let's say you're going to sell something low ticket. You guys are going to probably have a hard time seeing this, or maybe not, right? So I'm holding something that, honestly, now that I look at it, looks like it's a watermelon seed, but it's not. This little black device, and can I open it? This little black device came in a pack, and quite simply, it's a shield for your webcam. Many of you all might have it on your phone, and you might have it on your webcam of your laptop as well too. So in the open position, I think you guys can kind of be able to see it. Maybe not. All right. So it's a little black. When it's closed, it's like a little black watermelon seed, and it just adjusts up and down. So that way you can, if you're worried about people accessing your webcam without your permission, they're not going to see anything but a black screen. And it's just a security measure. So this little device, I think, came in a pack with several of them, and I might have spent $8 to $10 on the entire pack. Now, we can go to Alibaba or AliExpress and get them for way cheaper. I just value the convenience of getting them the same day out of the store more than I valued keeping more of my money and waiting till they got here from China. So whether you're doing low ticket, high ticket, or whatever, I like the fact of selling transformative products, not transactional products as well, because that makes it easier. But let's keep it going. So what we established is that your money is already sitting somewhere waiting for you to claim it. It's in the bank accounts, it's in the safes, it's in between the mattress and box spring. That's old school right there. It's in the shoe boxes of the people that are your ideal customers. Every niche should have ideal customers. All you gotta do is create something that they value more. Does that mean that it has to cost more? I can guarantee you this microphone costs $300 to make. It wouldn't make economic sense for them to sell something for $300 that costs $300. The business would eventually go out of business. There's no profit to sustain them, right? There's no profitability there to sustain them long term. There's no money to invest in growth. There's no money to, keep the employees incentivized to be the top developers, engineers, or whatever at the top of their game for said industry, whatever your industry may be. So whatever it is, the value of a thing and the price of the thing should and will be different. And the price to manufacture the thing can be lower than the retail price of the thing. So there's a manufacturing price, there's a retail price. Your job is to find people that value what you produce or what you source more than the manufacturer price. That is called arbitrage, the price differential between the manufacturer price and the retail price. And that's where your margins are. That's where your profit is. Let's run down these 5 things that you learn at any 9-to-5 job if you've been working there at least 2 consecutive years or longer. Number 1, show up on time. Whether you're talking about showing up from your break or showing up during the start time, whenever your start time is. You might have heard the saying, half the battle is showing up. You know, on your traditional 9-to-5 job, if you continue to not show up, you ain't gonna have that job very long. But how many people don't consistently show up for themselves the same way they show up to make other people rich? That's all I want you to do. The same way you show up for your job to make the CEO, the stockholders, the owner, founder, whatever, the same way you show up to make them financially free, financially abundant, rich, wealthy, whatever it is, depending on the company you're working for. I just want you to show up for yourself the same way. If it rained, vast majority of listeners will still go to work. If it snowed, unless you're in the South like me where it never snows or hardly ever snows to be exact, right? Because when it snows, it's like the whole world shut down for a minute. But in many northern areas, or if you're in an area that is used to a lot of snow, even when it snows, you still go to work. So in a lot of areas, the weather isn't enough to stop you. In a lot of occupations, if your coworker says something you don't like, if your manager says something to you you don't like, if a customer says something to you you don't like, you still come to work the next day. But how many of us out there that are under the sound of my voice will start a business as soon as a customer tells you something you don't want to hear about your business, like your price is too high, like, oh, I don't like that, like, oh man, nobody would ever buy that, you stop showing up? How many of you all would, before you even get that far down the road, will say, I'm tired, man, I worked hard today, I had a long day today, I don't want to do whoop-de-whoop, this and that, XYZ, I'll do it tomorrow? When you ever woke up on a work day and said, man, I don't feel like going to work, I'll do that next month, or when I get time, tomorrow. Eventually you run out of tomorrow. So the first thing, and I got 5 of them to give you, is I want you to show up for yourself, for your own wealth creation, for your own richness, for your own financial abundance and financial freedom. Show up for you the same way you show up for that job. Consistently, in spite of the weather, in spite of what they said to you before, right? In spite of you not feeling like. How many of us went to work when we were sick? How many of us went to work when our babies were sick? How many of us went to work after we had an argument with our significant other? How many of us went to work while we had a family member that was not doing well? How many of us went to work after getting some bad news? How many of us went to work knowing that our car got issues, our house got issues, but we still showed up? But you won't show up like that for yourself. Number 1 is you show up on time. Number 2 is you follow a proven blueprint. I dare say you got a job title at whatever company you're working for, and you might have different roles and responsibilities. So let's say I was a janitor. If I was a janitor, maybe one day I gotta mop, buff, and wax the floors. Maybe another day I gotta plunge the toilets because they stopped up. Another day I might wash windows. Another day I might have to vacuum the carpet in the rug. Right? Another day I might have to take the trash out. Maybe some days I'll be doing multiple of these things in the same day because they all need to get done. Now I'm still a janitor. These are just different roles. And at your job, you might have a role or a job title and then different roles and responsibilities that are all encompassed under that. But what I dare say is, if, let's say again, just using myself as an example, don't want anybody to get offended. If I'm a school janitor at the high school in your city, if I'm a janitor today, am I the principal tomorrow? No. If I'm a janitor today, am I the head coach of the football team 2 days later? Am I the head coach of the basketball team the day after that? Am I the school superintendent the day after that? Am I your math teacher, language arts teacher, special education teacher? Am I the school resource officer or security guard after that? No. Every day I show up, what am I? I'm the janitor. And I'm going to follow the proven blueprint consistently. On days when I don't want to take out the trash, on days when I don't want to plunge the toilet, on days when I don't want to vacuum the rug and carpet, on days when I don't want to clean the windows. Some kid thought it'd be funny, man, they let birds into school because they propped open the door, left it cracked, all these weird stuff, you know, kids of a certain age just do, just being mischievous. We were all kids before. Kids do silly stuff. How does that apply to your business. If somebody gives you a proven blueprint to create a successful easy stream on Amazon, you're not gonna go look and try to find 5, 10, 15 other jobs to do outside of that and say, I'm gonna do Amazon, stock investing, real estate, e-commerce, this one, that one, all these other different businesses. I'm gonna follow a proven blueprint day in and day out. Now, let's use another analogy and then we'll move on to point number 3. Let's go over the cooks. I don't want to spend too much time on the janitors. A janitor might hear this and get offended. Let's say I'm a cook now. If I'm a cook at Waffle House, do I go to Ruth Chris and learn how to be a cook for Waffle House? No. Why? Because if I came to Waffle House and I cooked the same food that's in Ruth Chris the same way, served it, nobody goes to Waffle House expecting Ruth Chris prices and experiences. So you would lose money. Nobody would buy it. The same is opposite. The same is equally as true, even though they're opposite. If I was a Ruth Chris cook, chef, culinary specialist, whatever the technical term is nowadays, because everybody gets their panties in a bunch over proper terminology, right? So I mean no disrespect, and I went from Ruth Chris to Waffle House, learned and mastered how to be a cook at Waffle House. And then I went back and made, prepared, and served just like it was Waffle House at Ruth Chris. People would be highly upset with the experience, the prices, the quality. Why? Because I came to Ruth Chris to get a Ruth Chris experience. I go to Waffle House to get a Waffle House experience. How does that apply in business? If you come and learn Amazon from us, are there other people that can learn, that have learned and can teach you Amazon? Yes, absolutely. But if you learn a little strategy from this one, a little strategy from that one, a little strategy from this one, a little strategy from that one, you build a Frankenstein. Technically, Frankenstein was the doctor name, but y'all still got the mental picture. Now you got a monster of a business and you wondering why it don't work right. And that's true in every industry. How many different ways is there to trade stock options or invest in the stock market, period? There's a lot of different strategies and ways. How many ways can you invest in real estate? There's a lot of different strategies, a lot of different ways. What e-commerce business should you start? There's a lot of different e-commerce businesses you can start and how to manage them. And guess what? A lot of these are successful. You just can't do them all at the same doggone time. So don't Frankenstein your business and just confuse yourself, create a monster that you can't control, and then be mad when things are out of control, you losing all of your money, and you thought this was gonna be your way out. Follow a proven blueprint. Number 3, when there's a problem, you act. Now on your job, let's say the server went down. All right, if you got a computer job, let's say the server went down. If you're in trucking, let's say that the person that was supposed to provide you the paperwork for the load misplaced it, can't find the email, can't find a way to print it off and give it to you. You ain't got no paperwork for that load. Do you just don't do nothing? Don't say anything and just say, well, I'm gonna just go take this load with no paperwork? Do you just say, well, the server's down, I'm gonna just get on my phone and I'll play a game or check social media until somebody else realizes that it's down and they fix it? Now, check it out. Even if it isn't your fault that the problem occurred, if there is a problem that impacts your ability to work, you're aware of it, and you don't act on it, you could still be held responsible for it. Can anybody relate to that? If not, I'm telling you, it's a real thing. I'm telling you, it's a real thing. Now, depending on the nature of the job that you have, sometimes acting on it is you tell a manager or whoever your superior is at the job, and they tell you how to fix the problem yourself. Sometimes the way that you act on a problem is you tell whoever you need to tell, and then they find a solution and they get it solved for you. So it depends on what type of job you're in, how the solution gets delivered, but you're still ultimately responsible for identifying there's a problem and notifying the necessary agencies, individuals, or what have you, so that way you don't just stop dead in your tracks. You don't say, oh man, I'm a trucker, the load supposed to be here, but it ain't no load. So let's say on the opposite, they give you paperwork, but they ain't got no trailer for you to pull. Do you just, well, I'm gonna just take the trailer, I'm gonna just take the paperwork, I'm gonna just take the paperwork and I ain't gonna have no load. But I wanna get paid just like I took the paperwork in the load, but I take, I take just Just the paperwork, I bobtail over there. Of course not. It doesn't make sense. But in your business though, as soon as you struggle getting sales, as soon as you struggle getting your website, you struggle getting your funnel to convert, you struggle with this thing or that thing, you struggle with finding a irresistible offer, identifying what products and what's the best way to source them, identifying how to deliver them, what's the logistics of it if it's a physical product, how are you going to deliver it if it's going to be a digital or virtual product, dealing with the day-to-day operations and what systems and softwares and how everything needs to run so that it's maximally effective, right? Are you going to come with that same energy and say, when there's a problem, I'm going to act? Let's use marketing because that's a fairly common problem. And like I told you guys earlier, I really want you all to get to a point where we can learn that skill and have it in our back pocket. I love marketing. Anytime I see somebody has a new offer about marketing and it's something I don't know, I jump on it. Especially, of course, if they're credible, do your due diligence, as do I. So let's say marketing though. There's two ways, just like on your job. You can go learn marketing yourself so you can invest in your own education and then begin marketing your business yourself. That usually, unless you have a marketing company like me, may not be the best way to do it, but it might be the most cost-effective way to do it. So unless you have a marketing agency, probably not the best way to do it, but it might be the most cost-effective way to do it, at least in the short term. Now, ultimately, unless you have a marketing agency, you can go out and pay companies to do your marketing for you, whether it's guerrilla marketing, offline marketing, online marketing, whatever it is. So just like on that job where some people say, I call a manager, the manager tell me what to do, I do it, that solves the problem. Or I call the manager or whoever, and then they notify whoever, and it gets solved. Same thing in business. I'm not getting sales. I can learn advertising and marketing and start advertising and marketing myself, or I could pay an advertising and marketing company to market my business for me. But you don't do nothing. And again, I'm running down 5 things that you learned on your job, and subconsciously, you probably not even aware that if you take these same skill sets that you gotta have, because if you don't have all 5 of these consistently, they're gonna fire you from your job. I went from being broke and homeless on the side of Interstate 95 to a millionaire in 2 years. So I'm sure if you've been working a 9-to-5 job for the last 2 years, I dare say you're probably not broke, homeless, sleeping on the side of an interstate, wondering, how you gonna get out of this jam. But even if you are, be encouraged, because I was. But if you're not there, right, and I had like a 400 and something credit score, so it wasn't like I can go to the bank and borrow $100,000 to get myself out of it. You have what it takes. All right, that was number 3, by the way, my bad. Number 4, consistently provide the same value. We already gave the analogy about the janitor at the school. You guys know that. We already touched on ain't no analysis paralysis. You just consistently do what are the roles and responsibilities of the business. Here's the thing, right? If you don't know what the roles and responsibilities of starting a successful Amazon business is, what you do is you find somebody that already has a successful one, do your due diligence, but then once you find somebody that has a successful business in any category, you look at what their roles and responsibilities are. You don't go invent it. You don't go try to make it up. Who's already doing well at this? What's their roles and responsibilities? Okay, I need to do that. That's called reverse engineering. But basically, you find somebody that's already doing what you want to do, and you look at, okay, they got the title that I want. They got the title of millionaire. They got the title of real estate mogul. They got the title of influencer. They got the title of e-commerce entrepreneur. They got the title of Amazon seller. They got the title of whatever. You find somebody that's successful, that already holds the title that you want to hold, and you just model and copy their roles and responsibilities. Got it? Constantly provide the same value. You're not a janitor today, superintendent tomorrow, math teacher after that, ISS teacher after that, lunch lady after that. Let me give you number 5 though. You dress for the part. You dress for the part. That's why I intentionally, on my YouTube channel, JT Automations, you guys can check that out if you're not already subbed over there. You guys will see me take you different places and show you different things. So that way you guys can see, oh man, it's the real deal. I try to carry myself in a way. Now, these Versace frames that I'm wearing, in case you couldn't tell, right? Big boy Versace frames. I could go to Walmart or any other discount frame salesman, whether it's online or offline place, and I could have got cheaper frames, but there's a reason why I got Versace frames. I could have went to, what's it called in the mall? I think it's called Claire's. Where do the little girls go to get their ears pierced? I think it's Claire's. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's in like every mall. Hopefully Amazon doesn't put them out of business, and then that statement doesn't make sense to somebody in the future that never got to know what Claire's was. But But I could have went to Claire's and got this chain. It would have been a whole lot cheaper than $8,000, which is what I paid for it. But there's a reason why. I want to look like somebody that knows how to make an above average amount of money. Because if you want to make an above average amount of money, if I came here with a candy necklace on, y'all might not remember that back in the day when we was kids. If I would have came here with a candy necklace on, I would have came here with some big Coke bottle glasses with the real thin, cheapest frame in Walmart frames, right? Or they got lens crafters in Walmart or whatever optometrist you go to. Man, they're like, man, this guy, you know what I mean? I'm even looking at now investing in veneers. I got some people around me that say do it, some people around me that say don't. It's a $38,000 investment just in my grill. Total, since I had some nerve damage, we gonna be all in probably around $45,000 after the veneers. And I still may get them. You guys stay tuned. But I'm using myself as an example. What about you? If you are somebody that wants to be taken seriously as a restaurateur or as an influencer in the cooking space, you just want to show different recipes, inspire people. Maybe you like, hey, look, I don't need a food trailer, and that's cool. I don't want a restaurant or a food trailer. I'm gonna just be the influence. You still need to carry yourself like the restaurateur and like the influencer that wants the food trailer as well. So when you come on social media for that, have on your chef jacket, have on your gloves, have on your hat or hairnet, have your chef jacket branded. If you somebody that wants to be treated like a nutritionist, man, dress like a doctor. You can let it be known you not a doctor, but you can have on a doctor's jacket. You could be, aesthetically looking like somebody that's nutritional. Or well nutritioned, right? Whatever the right word is. Y'all know I'm country. So come there with that energy. Imagine, if you will, if I had tattoos all over my face, from the top of my head all the way down to the sole of my feet. Like, you guys might have seen rappers or people in prison or just people that are just addicted and they got tattoos all over, head to toe, right? Imagine, if you will, if I had tattoos head to toe, which I don't, and I was wearing a tank top. In the South, we call them a wife beater, but I'm wearing one of those little tight white tank tops, and I had my pants sagging all the way to my knees, and I had on some black Air Force Ones, and it was all creased up, the kick doors, right, as they call it, and I banging on your door. I'm banging on your door. What would you assume about me? Now, depending on what neighborhood I'm in, I'm lucky if they don't shoot through the doggone door. Best case scenario, they don't answer the door at all. But would you think I am a local minister that's opened up a church at nearby this neighborhood, and I want to tell you about the goodness of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and invite you to Bible study and worship service with? Probably not. Does that mean that a minister can't have tattoos on his face? Now, I mean, to each their own. Some people may disagree and say you can't, but even if you believe that he shouldn't, what if he wasn't born a minister? What if he has a past and then he became a minister later on? If you think that he shouldn't have had it as a minister, what if he got it before a minister? But the point here is this: you're not gonna assume he is a minister trying to invite you to worship service or Bible study. Why? He don't look like no minister. He tatted up, top of his head, all over his face, all as far as we can see, tatted up, wife beater on, pants sagging to his knee, creased up Air Force Ones. So dress the part. If you want somebody to respect you as somebody that owns their own fashion brand, wear your brand. If you don't wear your clothes, why would I wear your clothes? If you don't wear your clothes, why would I wear your clothes? So whatever your company is, if you a truck driver, carry yourself like the owner of a logistics company. I know you drive a lot. I know you like to be comfortable. And what you doing when the cameras is off, when you not making content, when you not at networking events, that's fine. But get you collar shirts made that have your business logo and the name of your company on it. Have you a simple little one-page website or simple funnel that they can go to. authorjt.com. That's one of my many websites, authorjt.com. People come to me, hey, you got a website? authorjt.com. Another one, jonathanmccrae.com. I already told you guys earlier, another one, ckeygaming.com. It just depends on who I'm talking to, which one I name. But the point is this: if you want to come to a live in-person event, the foundationsofwealthconference.com. I could do this all all day. I practice what I preach. You can look up any of those sites, see if it's any cap in my raps. But I digress. Getting back to the point. What if, and it's a big if, what if I was somebody that actually looked like I was a millionaire in the space, even though I never said I was a millionaire in the space, but I always carried myself in that manner. I was always professional in appearance, in speech. I wasn't every time you see me, cuss word, F this, D that, kiss my A, F y'all. Now, of course, when you with your boys, when you with your buddies, when you doing whatever, I don't really care. That ain't none of my business. That between you and the Lord. But dress the part. If you somebody that's a nurse or a doctor, you can't wear the same thing a stripper would wear when they go to work. Now, you might say, and as I adjust the camera a little bit, now you might say, man, I like that outfit. I like them shoes. I like that tight short dress. Cool. You can like whatever you want to like, but you can't wear that at Johns Hopkins Hospital. You can't wear that at St. Jude Hospital. You can't wear that at Carolina Hospital. Man, you can't dress like that. You gotta get your stuff together. They might let it slide at the VA hospital. You know, I can say that because I'm a veteran, right? And I always like to put a little jabs at my fellow veterans. We know how it is. But the whole point is dress the part in your business. Look like a professional. Have you some work shirt. Now, I'm doing this podcast, and I mean, I'm not in my work shirt, but you guys know I got so many different work shirts from my software company to my author company to my gaming company. I got hoodies, all of these other different things. And you guys will notice in other podcast episodes, those of you all that are watching on YouTube will notice, or whatever social media it is shared to, that a lot of the episodes you'll see me rocking my own stuff, Even now in this episode, it looks like I'm wearing just a plain black tee. There's a logo on it, right? It's not my logo though, so I'm intentionally not showing, but just for the sake of purposes, you guys can see what it is. So if I'm gonna be advertising something, advertise either the brands you want to be associated with. So if I want to be considered high-end, luxury, professional, that's why I buy the Versace. I got friends of mine, believe it or not, they buy Lamborghinis. Them Lamborghinis be so junky on the inside. I say, man, you spend all this money on this car. Man, why you don't keep it detailed? Keep it looking good, keep it smelling good. They say, hey, Jay, we done made all our money back ×5 off that car. That car to us is the same thing like a Honda. The only thing better than that in a Honda, though, is that ain't nobody interested in knowing what you do when you got a Honda or patronizing your business because you drive a Honda. When we drive this, people want to know what you do. And we know how to say what we do in a way that make them want to do business with us. Hey, what you do? I help people do XYZ. That's what I do. Everything is I help people. If you want to be even more specific, I help X, whoever your ideal person is. I help single moms lose weight in 90 days or less. I help CDL license holders create $1 million trucking companies. I help blue collar businesses double their income without doubling their work. That's what I say. Lamborghini on the way, right? So anybody know who Warren Buffett is? Just say yes. I know we ain't there in person, but just say yes, because I want you to, again, the power is in your tongue, right? Yes or no. If you don't know him, you don't gotta lie. Warren Buffett is the owner of Berkshire Hathaway, is considered arguably one of the greatest investors of all time, if you don't know who that is. Now, I told you guys in the beginning, I only had 2 real jobs in my life. One was 4 years in the United States Marine Corps. Then I worked as an assistant operations manager, then later an ops manager for Berkshire Hathaway. And what I love about that company is they taught us a lot about Warren Buffett, as well as operations, since I was an ops manager. One thing that is applicable, or however you say that word, you guys know I'm country. One thing that's appropriate for this podcast episode is understanding that if you have a sales manager and an operations manager at your core, you can scale any business to 7 figures or beyond. Dope thing about having an easy stream is that part of the easy stream is that it replaces the sales manager. So Amazon, for example, will replace your sales manager. And then either you or a VA you get from the Philippines or wherever you want to source them from for a few $100 a month will replace you in operations. Or if you want to maximize profitability, it would only take, let's say, an hour or less, 2 hours if you just really into it and just want to just make it take that long to run this business. And that's making substantial amounts of money, right? We used the analogy early, 24,000. but you could be making way more than that. I just use, again, small numbers for me. So Amazon can be your sales manager. You or who you designate can be your ops team. Something you got to know about me, though. I share with you guys quite a bit of my biases, right? If you're somebody that's willing to sacrifice your dream to save money, I'm not your person. My first business was an independent courier service. I had drivers working for me in less than 30 days. So I always been somebody that believed the value of my dreams exceed money. So I'll spend money if it'll allow me to reach my dreams faster or more efficiently. Some people have this fallacy that they're going to live very modestly, very discreetly. They're going to get rich slow and then pass it on to their loved ones. And then that's going to be how the next generation takes off and goes to the moon thanks to your sacrifice. They're going to blow all of your money. That's the reality of it. Why? They never saw you or anybody they like, know, and trust as much as you manage wealth. So even though dad, mom, granddad, grandma, uncle, auntie, older cousin, church family, whatever, left us X assets, X amount of money, I don't know what to do with these assets and this money. And what you don't know can and will hurt you. So I'm going to try to make some investments. I'm probably going to make some bad ones. I'm going to try to save money, not understanding that's not how wealth is accumulated or maintained. So I'm going to lose money there. I want people to still treat me the same way they treat me now. I never knew that I'm going to be the same. People around me are going to change, and that might cost me money just to maintain relationships. My best friend would have never asked me for $1,000. Well, now they know you a millionaire and $1,000 is crumbs. But when y'all was working at McDonald's together, they would have never asked that. And you might not even give it a second thought and say, yeah, it is only $1,000. And then that begins the death by a million cuts. And before you know it, you don't have the money. They don't have the money. You don't have the knowledge to get the money again. They don't have the knowledge to get the money the first time. And now we got to wait on another person to die and hope they give us another chance. That's ridiculous. So the fallacy of you getting rich slow is safe, is honorable, is the right way to do it. You're fooling yourself. Just being real, right? Just being real. So don't be the man, the woman, the business owner that is willing to sacrifice their dream in exchange for saving money. Because all it means is that you're not going to blow the money, whoever after you going to blow the money, because they don't know what to do with it. My daughter's 7. I already had a conversation with her mom and established the fact that her childhood ends after her sophomore year of high school. Between her sophomore and junior year, she's going to work at the daycare center I recently purchased, Lord willing. Everything goes well, you know what I mean? That's quite a few years in the future, so that's the plan, but Lord willing, of course. But ideally, in between her junior and senior year, she's going to work at the daycare center. She's not going to know that she owns the daycare center. She's going to be mad at her dad for making her go work at the daycare center all summer long while her friends are partying, sleeping in, playing video games, doing whatever they want to do for the summer. She's changing diapers. She's feeding babies applesauce. They're throwing up because she's burping them. She's like all of the stuff that's going to be very unfun. Then she's going to go through her junior year of high school. Then between her junior and senior year, guess what? She's going to work there again. And she's going to be mad and say, man, I didn't have last summer. You going to take away this summer too? Absolutely, I am. And she's going to go through the same thing. She's going to change diapers. She's going to feed kids. They're going to throw up on her. She's going to go through that entire process again. It's hopefully will be easier because this isn't her learning everything. This is her getting better at it. Reason why I'm doing this is because I want her to have the utmost respect for the people that will work for her in the future. And I also don't want anybody to be able to, as I was taught as a kid, I don't want anybody to be able to feed her cornbread and tell her it's a biscuit. I want her to thoroughly understand every aspect of that business, not because I expect her to run every aspect of that business, but I just don't want anybody to be able to take advantage of her when it comes to the childcare, daycare industry. So she's going to start off at the bottom and she's going to work her way all the way up. And when she's mature, whether she's 21, 41, or 91, I'm going to give her that business. Hopefully it's closer to 21 than 91. But I'm not going to give it over to her until she is fiscally or financially responsible and mentally responsible enough to run that business. So that being said, at 7 years old, guess what? Her mom got her addicted to Starbucks. I don't know why, but she is. So I'll pick her up. We'll go hang out. We'll go to Starbucks. She likes caramel ribbon crunch. And we talk about her owning a daycare center. Now at 7, a daycare center sounds like a fun place to go play all day. So she has no objections yet. She will be surprised when she realizes, oh, I'm not coming here to play and get money. I actually have to do some stuff. But how does that tie to the point that I'm making? That business, as well as some other ventures that I'm sowing the seeds for now that Lord willing will mature, I want to pass on assets to my family while I'm still here to advise them. I want them to see how I manage situations. I want to give them the opportunity to manage situations. I want to give them the opportunity to make mistakes. I'm not going to be that mentor for my daughter that is going to tell her everything. I want her to make mistakes because I want her to learn if you make a mistake, you can recover. It's not the end of the world. If she never has the experience of making mistakes and then I'm no longer with her one day, then the time will come and she will make a mistake and she'll say, I never made a mistake when my dad was around. I'm terrible. I'm awful. I can't recover because she's never dealt with that experience. But if she's dealt with failure, heartbreak, problems, rebounding, right, over and over and over again, all right, guess what? What begins to happen? She learns, oh, there's ups and downs in business. Here's how to navigate it. Here's how I can be crazy successful. And here's how I can run a business remotely, which is a skill set 99+% of the population has no idea how to successfully run a business without being in the business every single day. So if she wants to ever cut on a camera, which she's not going to have to, but if she ever wants to cut on a microphone and a camera, she can just teach people, how do I run my X amount of businesses remote? What software do I use? What's my process for hiring people? What's my systems for managing these things? And it's going to be because I'm setting her up for success. So don't be the person that unknowingly makes a lot of money just for the generation after you to blow it. I told you guys, 2017, I was broke and homeless. By 2019, I made my first $1 million. I had a 400 credit score. So I obviously couldn't borrow money to run plays. At that point in my life, I wasn't thinking about getting my credit repaired so I can leverage and borrow money to run a play. I sold things. I started off selling all of the items that I had. I am a fully rehabilitated sneakerhead. I would buy Jordans for $200 and I would buy 2 pairs at a time. We used to say, you got a pair to stock and you got a pair to rock. Craziness. But all my current or maybe even ex sneakerheads like myself will remember that era. So, and I blame Nelly for it. Y'all know the song, give me 2 pairs. I need 2 pairs so I can get the stomping in my Air Force One. Big boy, stomping in my Air Force One. Right? So ever since that, hey, give me 2 pair. I need 2 pair. Jordans, Yeezys, Foam Posits, Bo Jacksons, Charles Barkley's, Air Forces, craziness. Bad habit. Thank God I broke it. But fast forward, I'm on poor economic times. I'm selling those same shoes I paid $200 for $60. The receipt is still in the box. They can see I got it from Foot Action, Foot Locker, Jimmy Jazz. Wherever I got it from, the receipt is in the box. They look at the bottom to make sure they're not worn, or they worn gently, or usually they were not worn though. Look up if you just want to see how crazy I was, but it was a sacrifice I had to make because like I said, I had less than $1,000 to my name. I think I had, if I remember correctly, $600. The PlayStation Air Force Ones, real ones, not knockoffs, the original OGs, because they might make another pair in the future. But original OG PlayStation Air Force Ones, size 11.5. You could go research them, see what they go for right now. Sold them for $60 while I was broke at home. One, I have an abundance mindset. I believe that anything God chooses to bless me with once, he can bless me with all of that and more, infinite number of times. So even if I was to go back and reorder those shoes, by the grace of God, I got more than enough money to order those shoes. I can get multiple pairs of them right now if I wanted to. But at that season in my life, I sold maybe like 20 shoes in a day, $60 a piece. Retail might have been $4,000. I only get $1,200, brand new in the box with the receipt and all. But you got to think about it. If you go from $600 to $1,800 in a day, you triple my net worth, right? If you can call $1,800 a net worth. But I triple my net worth. Now I got money to go buy more stuff and resell that stuff online and slowly rebuild my courier business, established and built an easy stream e-commerce business. Started using some of that money to build my own e-commerce brand that I had for a season. And then decided to shut down my e-commerce brand and invest that money into starting a media company, which is why fundamentally the only reason you guys are able to hear my voice right now. Again, the 5 things are show up on time. We're doing a live 1-day in-person event. Text me 1-833-221-9994 and I'll let you know when the next event is, just so we don't date it, because we're going to do several of these events. Don't think about it as buying a ticket. Think about it as buying a business. And would you spend less than $1,000, or maybe in the future it'll cost more, but would you spend a couple $1,000 or less or even more to have a business set up, right? Because we're going to give you the whole instructions on how to set it up yourself. So you're going to get walked through the setup. Then we're going to review it, make sure everything's good to go. Come in person. We're going to talk straight monetization, get into the money. And then if you don't make sales or a sale, I don't want to say sales because I don't know how many sales you'll make in your first week. It's impossible for us to say. So we say if you don't make at least your first sale in your first week, once everything is set up, you get all of your money back, plus you keep the business for life. Show up on time to the event. Follow a proven blueprint. Our blueprint is so proven, we could tell you if you do it in your new business, you will make a sale in your first week. We don't say if, we say when there's a problem, because we know there's no such thing as a perfect world. You act, right? If you chose us to be a mentor, then we'll have either a number to dial, a calendar to schedule a appointment with us if you want to see us face to face or virtually or whatever, right? Because virtually is just more convenient in the day that we live in today. So virtually makes sense for the most people. Consistently provide the same value, man. No analysis paralysis. No analysis paralysis. But if business or my financial life was not going the way that I wanted it to go today, smart people will watch this before it even gets that far and be proactive, not reactive. I will create an easy stream business. I would take a portion of the profits from the easy stream business. I will learn advertising and marketing that now allows me to advertise and market for any business in my imagination. Also, I can sell advertising and marketing services to any of my friends, families, or strangers' businesses that need help generating sales. And then from that, it's completely up to you. Not everybody has the same desires. Not everybody has the same purpose, but that is the right answer. I'm your favorite country cousin, JT. This has been another episode of the Income Autopilot Podcast. Be sure to give us a 5-star review. Please, wherever you're listening to this at, we want to continue to grow the show. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Income Autopilot Podcast with JT. JT Automations is our other YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed there, subscribe there as well. See you guys in the next one. Peace.